Now let's look into this content view file, which is the main file for our UI. So any changes you do over here, you will be seeing it in your UI. So this section over here is the preview section for whatever code we write over here, right? So if you don't see this, on your top, you'll see this button. If you click on it, this is the canvas section. Make sure that this is selected. If this is selected, then only you will see this canvas, which is the preview section. At the bottom, as you can see, we have multiple options for this preview section. Like we can run it over here itself. Like if you have any button and you want to interact with those buttons, you can run it and you will be able to interact with your application in the preview section itself without running your application in the simulator. Then this is a selectable section. Anything which I select over here will be shown over here in the preview section. So this is the selectable section. And then over here, we can see multiple variant of our device. So let's say I want to see a color scheme variant. So if I click on it, it will show me a dark mode device and how my UI will look in the dark mode. There are many other options, like I can see in the different orientation as well. Like if I want to see how my application will look like in landscape, I can choose that as well. And then we have some device settings, which you can set if it is required. As of now, it's not required. So we'll just go back to the first live selection. And then over here, as you can see, we have some zoom in and zoom out option as well. So if you want to zoom in, you can click on this button. If you want to zoom out, you can click on this button. So using these options, you can zoom in into your previous section and see your UI more clearly. Now, whatever we write over here will be presented in your UI. So everything in the code, if you see, we have content view. Content view is nothing but this view we are seeing over here. And content view is able to show us this view because it is implemented through a view. So ignore this part if you're not familiar with inheritance. So any custom view which is implemented with view would be able to write some UI code inside this body. So this body view is the main view where we'll be writing our UI. So anything which you will write in this body view from here to here will be shown in your phone UI. So let's say this text, we have this text, hello world. Let's just change it and see what happens. So let's say SwiftUI is awesome. And as I typed over here, you can see it got changed in my preview. I didn't even have to reload it. It got changed automatically. So this is a very powerful behavior. But as you start writing your code and your code becomes much bigger and bigger, previews sometimes become a bit laggy or a bit buggy as well. So in that scenario, you will have to go to this button, the play button, and select the simulator in which you want to test your application. In our case, it is selected to iPhone 14 Pro, and then run it, and your application will be run in the simulator as well. And at this bottom, you can see this got open. This is our console. So anything which happens in our application, it will show it over here. As of now, we don't need it in our application, but later on, if there is any issue like any crashes or anything, you will be able to see all those details in your console. So just know that the console is here and you can use it, but as of now, we will just close it off because we don't require it. Now let's remove this and start writing our own UI elements. So let's delete this. And as soon as we delete, Xcode will start complaining because it is expecting some UI to be there. So let's say I want to write a text itself. So I will write text and I'll get all the options available for the text. So let's select the first one itself, and now I can just simply write my text message inside the curly braces and I'll say hello. And now, even though I have changed over here, you will see my preview is not updated because sometimes, as I said, preview is a bit laggy. In such scenarios, all you have to do is just click on this button to resume it. So click on this and you'll see your hello text coming up over here. Now, if you go into this selectable section, if I click over here, I would be able to see whatever I have selected over here inside my preview as well. So as you can see, my hello text does not have any padding. So we can add some padding. So to add paddings with these elements, all you have to do is add modifiers. So how do you add modifiers? Just click dot, and over here you will get all the modifiers which you can add with your text. So what I want is padding, and I can just simply select this and it gives some standard padding to my text content. So now I can see that there is some padding with my text content. Now there are many other modifiers, like I can give it some background color. For that, the modifier is background, and inside this I can specify my color. So color dot, let's say I want to give it green color, and we can see our background is changed to green color. Now this is not the only way you can add any UI element and modifiers for your UI. Let's delete it again and I'll show you another way how you can add UI in your content view. So instead of writing the code, code, you can click on this plus button, and in this library we have a lot of options. So I can search for text, select it and drag it from there inside our body, and there we go, we have our text element over here. Now even for modifiers, you don't have to write it over here. With the same plus library, the first one shows the views, but the second one is for modifiers. So all the modifiers are available over here. So I can just search for padding and I can drag it, and I should add it at the end of my text, and there you go, we have our padding for our text view. This is another way to update your UI in SwiftUI if you don't want to write programmatically. Now, there are many other ways as well. Let me show you one more way to add modifiers. So instead of dragging and dropping it from this plus icon, as I had showed you, we have this attribute section. So if you click over here, you will be able to see your attribute section. So in this attributes, we have modifiers. So for this text, we have all these modifiers. So from here, I can change the label as well. And then from here I can change the modifiers. So all these modifiers are there. Let's say I want to change the color of my text, so I will change it to red from here itself, and you will see the code will be added automatically as you change it from here. You can change the font of it, you can call it a title, and the code will be changed. And as you can see, even though we have changed it to hello, it is still showing placeholders. So sometimes it does not work. So in such scenario, you need to understand that whatever you will write in your code is the source of truth. So if it doesn't work from here, you can always go ahead and change it in your code, and then it will immediately update. And as we were talking about adding modifiers, over here instead of these modifiers, we have this add modifier search box where you can search for all the modifiers and select it and add it in our application. So let's say I want background color, so I'll just select it from here and it would be added over here. Now it has selected blue color automatically. You can choose whatever color you want from this modifier over here. And as we change code in our inspector, it is getting changed in our code as well. So these are some of the ways you can edit your code using SwiftUI, but the most preferred way is writing program only. In the next video onwards, we will only focus on writing SwiftUI code programmatically, because once you start writing SwiftUI code programmatically, all these other features are not even required, because writing it programmatically is much easier and much more maintainable when you write it by yourself.